Are we winning? And by we, I mean the electric car community, electric car revolution. I unfortunately the short answer is no. The long answer is not yet, but I have to say, when I saw the Tesla Model S, it was still a prototype. I think it was early 2012, maybe late 2011. I was like, wow, this will change the world. I better make my reservation and get the first one available because they will run out. Everybody will want this one. So, and this is 6 years later, and unfortunately, we're not where I thought we would be. Let me know in the comment section if you thought that as well. I'm going to give you 5 reasons why I think that is, and really this is not so much my opinion. This is more kind of crowdsourced from the comments that I hear and read in the comment section on Facebook and so forth. And then some of the people who work in the industry and some of the executives that I was lucky enough to meet in person and talk to. So this is kind of crowdsourced, but feel free to put in the comments of the section. So audience participation is definitely welcomed, at usually is. Let me know what reasons do you think why we're not where we are, because car sales are still in the world around 1%, maybe 2%, and of course Norway and China are kind of leading the way there in their phenomenons, but not here in the United States. As a matter of fact, I'm going to give you a very sad stat that I was looking at when I was coming up with this topic, and we're going to talk about it right now. Taking over the world, electrifying the world, E4 Electric! Welcome to E4 Electric, your #1 source of unbiased electric car news. If this is your first time here, go ahead and click on that subscribe button down there so you don't miss anything moving forward. Okay, so a little bit history about this topic. So I actually did a presentation last night for one of the local electric car enthusiast groups here in Sacramento called SAC-EV. And I was picking this topic when I was looking at the sales report for the United States. And this is the second month in a row where year-over-year sales numbers have fallen. So in August of this year in the US, there were less electric car sold than last August of last year. Same thing for July. July of this year was the first month, and I think in 3.5 years, where less electric cars were sold this year than the same month last year. This is a bad trend, and don't forget that Model 3 production is ramped up. Granted, they're exporting a lot of them, but nevertheless, there are 5 really good electric cars on the market now, actually more than 5, and the ones that were around or still stayed, including the Bolt, but excluding the Volt. So and electric cars are getting more and more popular. This is just by me talking to people. But the sales are still down. So I really, so as I talked in front of this group of really awesome people, I realized I kind of wanted to share this with you. So let's get going. These are in no particular order. So the first reason I would say is this. Or really maybe this, right? These are, the electric cars that are horrible in so many different ways, in terms of range, in terms of lack of technology, in terms of costing much more than their gas equivalents, and of course being extra fugly, if you ask me and many other people. So when you say electric cars, people still think of these. A lot of them do. And somehow, even with Tesla being on the market, even with all of these other cars being on the market now, it's changing way slower than I thought it would. Yes, in Silicon Valley, people don't think of this as an electric car, really, when they think about it. But everywhere in the country and in the world, people still do. So this is really dragging us down. I've always said that if there was no Tesla, the cars like this would not only succeed, they would have just killed the entire notion of electric cars, because people would be like, I do not want that. So that's problem number 1. Here's the second problem. This guy. Now, I wouldn't say he is the major problem, but he's definitely contributing. And he is undisputedly the leader of the electric car revolution. There is nobody else who's even close to him. But that's where the problem comes, because he is the only leader. We don't have really any more brand ambassadors, if you will, for the electric car movement, and he's done a fine job for a while. As a matter of fact, when people were mentioning his name, out there in the media, in the conversation, he was talked about as like, wow, the second coming of Steve Jobs, right? But lately, because of the way he kind of behave himself and on Twitter and all that stuff, people, a lot of times he ends up being the button of the joke for the late night show. So his reputation outside of our bubble has definitely plummeted, and we don't have anybody else. I personally think people like Carson Breifeld, who's the new CEO of Faraday Future, former Biden CEO, RJ, the CEO of Rivian, would be great ambassadors, but that's not what they do, right? They just do their job. They're not showmen, unfortunately. Maybe some celebrities. We don't have any really big celebrities that are advocating too much. I mean, even though Jay Leno has lately been pretty good to us. So, but Elon has not really helped lately, and we need more of him. We really need more of Elon from 2014, 2015. So that's reason number 2. I'm sure you have something to say about it, so I will carefully look in the comment section for that. Before we go to number 3, a quick reminder that this video and this channel is sponsored by Byton. Check out their all-electric SUV called M-Byte, coming up to the US and Europe in the next couple of years, and that's because the reservation line is getting kind of long. So if you have not made a reservation yourself, go to the description of this video. There is a link there. It takes about 60 seconds, and you don't have to put the deposit down. Absolutely $0. It will start at $45,000 before the incentives. All right, so now reason number 3. And this is this car. By the way, when I showed the picture of this car to the audience yesterday, and this was an audience of electric car enthusiasts in California, a couple of them were like, what's that, right? And that's the problem. This is one of the best electric cars on the market, and mainly because not only it has an amazing range, it has a longer practical range than its EPA rating. I think EPA is rated at 240, but even when I test drove the hell out of it, I think made it 260. But a lot of people in my Kia Niro EV Facebook group that I started reporting 300-mile range on this car. But on top of that, it's a crossover SUV. It's a compact SUV, which people absolutely love. Tesla doesn't have one, right? And it's priced after the most of the incentives at around $30,000. It is a great fast charging at 100 kilowatts. It is a great electric cars that nobody knows about, and there are quite a few of them on the market right now that people don't know about. People don't know about the Audi, the Jaguar, the Hyundais, and so many others. People don't know that the Nissan Leaf got refreshed. People don't know about it, and you know who's not talking about them? Kia and the manufacturers who make them. Now, we know they're in a bit of a pickle because most of the advertisement comes from the local dealerships, and they do not care to sell electric cars because they make most of their money on maintenance, and electric cars do not require much maintenance. My solution, is for them to start selling digital services to those cars, but I think we're a few years away for that. So that's a bit of a pickle, but as you know, these manufacturers are not really behind advertisement. Now, I know Nissan Leaf got a little bit of love from Nissan, and Audi is spending a lot, millions and millions of dollars on advertisement. Unfortunately, Audi is advertising the wrong car. They're advertising a concept that where you can't even put deposits for, and not really advertising the e-tron. Not in the Super Bowl commercials, not in the Avengers, not in the upcoming Spider-Man movie. No, they're advertising the concept you cannot get. That's very unfortunate. All right, reason number 4, and that is infrastructure, basically. Now, a lot of people don't know about it, so it will probably take about a year, but by the end of this year, in America, with Electrify America, and in Europe with Ionity, there will be enough of fast charging stations at 150 to 350 kilowatt charging rate, where you can pretty much get around anywhere around the country and around Europe. It's almost there. Once it's there, they're obviously working out some quirks. It's not as smooth as a supercharging network from Tesla, but it's definitely getting there. So people will have to just find out that it's there, visit once, see how it works. They have to make accounts and stuff like that. So we're still about 1 or 2 years away from people kind of really feeling comfortable with that. And of course, the infrastructure for, at-home charging. If you're on your home, that's great. But if you're a renter, especially an apartment complex, you're kind of out of luck. And there are laws like here in California where the landlord can really prevent you from having a charging station installed, but it's at your expense. And if you have, I don't know, even 6, 7, 8 months left on your lease, and even if you started your lease, do you want to spend $2,000, $3,000 having a professionally installed charging station that you will never own just so you can be there for, a year? no. A lot of people say no. So that's definitely a problem. And the last one, and I think this is all of us need to participate in this one, including Elon. And this is, we're not even promoting electric cars in our community. In our community, we still have this fighting, you know, pro Tesla, anti Tesla. Do you drive a Tesla? No, you're not even a human being then, right? We don't like. After this speech that I had yesterday at that event, somebody came up to me and they were helping somebody pick an electric car at one of those events, and someone was looking at the i3. Now, granted, I don't like that car. That guy didn't like that car, but he was trying to stop her from buying the car, and then he realized, like, wait. Why am I stopping a person from buying an electric car? It's not the one that I would want, but she wants it, so let her buy an electric car. We do this all the time. This pro-Tesla, anti-Tesla fighting is ridiculous. I mean, Porsche Taycan just came out on the market, which is a very, very decent car. The price is not decent, but the car is amazing. And yet, immediately the community divided, you know, pro Taycan and anti Taycan. Is it better than Tesla? If it's not, then it's crap. Elon got jump on this as well with his tweet here, even though he's always said that he wants all of the electric cars to succeed, but this is not the first time he's been talking crap about another manufacturer that's trying to come up with electric cars. Now, he got trolled for this, including, you know, this a funny reply, and I made a completely different video about it. But, you know, we shouldn't be fighting. We should be all promoting electric cars, and let's sell the concept first, and then let the people who want the electric cars pick their own. Okay, don't push Tesla, not Tesla, Taycan, not Taycan on them. Let them buy the concept first, because all this inner fighting is not helping. As a matter of fact, it's only telling them, like, oh, they don't even know what they want. There's no common opinion within their community. So we're going to continue staying away. So I think all of us can do a little better with that. So with that said, I want to give a quick shout out to one of my newer Patreons, by the way, supporting my channel. Thank you so much. Michael Mellock, thank you. I do this full time now. So all of your contributions definitely matter. You also get to watch me live, full access and all of that stuff. If you want to join Michael and many other Patreons that are supporting this channel, you can go to the description of this video or simply patreon.com/e4electric and support me there as well. All right, let me know if I missed anything. Looking forward to your comments. Other than that, see you next time, and remember to stay charged.